In today's HBCU Spotlight, I will focus on five schools. The first is Howard University. Howard University is a private, federally chartered, historically Black research university in Washington, D.C. It was chartered by the U.S. Congress on March 2nd, 1867. In the first 5 years, Howard educated over 150,000 freed slaves. In 1942, Howard students pioneered what would become a pivotal technique in the sit in movement of the civil rights movement. They pioneered the stool sitting technique, which was the technique used where students would go in and sit in places of business that did not allow for African Americans to patronize them. They used this technique and it spread throughout other states, and the sit ins led to desegregation laws across the country. Howard started as a single frame building and now has evolved to more than 89 acres of land, including the 6-story, 400-bed Howard University Hospital. Howard University also has a 22-acre School of Law and at another location, a 22-acre School of Divinity. Howard University's Moreland Spingard Research Center is recognized as one of the world's largest and most comprehensive repositories for the documentation of the history and culture of people of African descent. Howard consistently ranks among the highest producers of the nation's Black professionals in medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, engineering, nursing, architecture, religion, law, music, social work, and education. In addition, Howard University is the founding site of 5 of the 9 Black Greek letter organizations that make up the National Panhellenic Council. Those organizations are Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, and of course, the best sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. HU has numerous notable alumni, so many, including the current Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. It also boasts alumni such as Dr. Patricia Bath, which we know was a famous ophthalmologist, author Toni Morrison, author Zora Neale Hurston, music, famous for his music, Sean Diddy Combs, the Black Panther himself, Chadwick Boseman, actress Taraji P. Henson, and one of its newest alumni, Nick Cannon, as well as many, many, many more. Just an added note, Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African American Supreme Court Justice, graduated from the Howard School of Law. Next is Johnson C. Smith University. This is a private, historically Black university in Charlotte, North Carolina. It was established on April 7th, 1867, as the Biddle Memorial Institute. The school got its name because Mary D. Biddle donated $1,400 to help the school get started. To recognize her donation, the school officials allowed her to name the school. She chose to name the school in honor of her husband, and so that's how it became known as Biddle Memorial. In 1876, the name was changed to Biddle University. That name remained until 1923, when it was then changed to Johnson C. Smith in honor of the husband of Jane Berry Smith. Jane Berry Smith was a huge benefactor of the school. She donated money to allow for new buildings to be constructed and to be used as for educational purposes as for dorms. Johnson C. Smith University offers 24 different undergraduate degrees and 1 graduate degree. It currently competes in the NCAA, Division II, and CIAA sports. Morehouse College. Morehouse College is a private, historically Black men's liberal arts college in Atlanta, Georgia. It was founded by William Jefferson White in 1867 in response to the freedom of enslaved African Americans following the Civil War. Interesting note, his half brother founded the Atlanta University that became a part of Clark Atlanta University. Morehouse is the largest men's only liberal arts college in the United States. A great opportunity was bestowed upon its May 2019 graduates when the speaker for that commencement, Robert F. Smith, promised to pay the educational loan debt for every spring 2019 graduate. This totaled $34 million and became the largest donation the school has ever received. Morehouse is a member of the Atlanta University Center. This center includes Clark Atlanta University, Spelman College, Morehouse School of Medicine, and Interdenominational Theological Center. Morehouse has conferred more bachelor's degrees on Black men than any other institution in the nation. For 2021, the U.S. News and World Report, Morehouse is ranked 38th for best undergraduate teaching among liberal arts colleges in the U.S., and it ranks 6th among all HBCUs. Morehouse is the #1 feeder school for Black men entering Harvard Law and Business schools. Morehouse has several notable alumni, including the most honorable Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Spike Lee, who is a famed director, Samuel L. Jackson, which we know is a famous actor, and gangster rapper Guru. Morgan State University. Morgan State is a public HBCU research institution and is the largest HBCU in Maryland. It was founded in 1867 as the Centenary Biblical Institute by the Baltimore Conference of the Methodist Episcopal Church. Its initial mission was to train young men in ministry. The school was renamed Morgan College in 1890 in honor of Reverend Littleton Morgan. The school awarded its first bachelor's degree in um, awarded his first bachelor's degree to George F. Meachin, who went on to obtain a law degree from Yale. This degree was awarded in 1893. Morgan was actually a private institution until 1939. That year, the state of Maryland, in response to a study that saw that it needed to provide more opportunities for its Black students, purchased the school. Since it became a public institution, it has been open to students of all races, and it has been constantly provided a comprehensive education where a lot of schools during the early 1900s were strictly focused on training either those in teaching or ministry. In 1975, Morgan College became Morgan State University. MSU has its own governing board and is designated as Maryland's public urban university. Morgan is classified among R2 doctoral universities for high research activity. It awards degrees at all three levels. So it awards bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees. And it currently has more than 7,698 students enrolled. The school operates 12 colleges, schools, and institutes, such as the College of Liberal Arts, the School of Business, and the School of Arts and Sciences. This before desegregation led to the decline of Black athletes attending HBCUs, Morgan had great success in football. More than 30 of its former football players were drafted by and played in the NFL. The Morgan State University Choir is one of the nation's most prestigious university choral ensemble. They have performed for audiences throughout the US and all over the world. The choir does more annual appearances with major orchestras in the US than any other university choir. Morgan has several notable alumni in all different areas, such as alumni that has become successful in the area of business, in the area of judiciary, such as being judges and lawyers in civil work and in areas of education. In entertainment, two of its notable alumni include David E. Talbert, who was a famed playwright, as well as a filmmaker. Most recently, his film Jingle Jangle was very successful on Netflix. Also includes the comedian Monique. St. Augustine's University. This is a private HBCU located in Raleigh, North Carolina. It was chartered as St. Augustine Normal and Collegiate Institute on July 19, 1867, by Reverend J. Brenton Smith and Reverend Thomas Atkinson. The latter became the first president of the Board of Trustees, and Dr. Smith was the first principal. The school officially opened its doors for instruction on January 13, 1868. It changed its name to St. Augustine School in 1893 and became St. Augustine's Junior College in 1919 when it started to offer post-secondary education. The school became a four-year institution in 1927 and awarded its first bachelor's degree in 1931. It also established the St. Agnes Hospital and Training School for nurses to provide medical care for and by African Americans. This was the first nursing school in the state of North Carolina for African American students and served as the only hospital for African Americans until 1960. One of its most famous patients to pass through the halls of that hospital was the first ever heavyweight African American heavyweight boxing champion, Jack Johnson. St. Augustine is the nation's first HBCU to own an on campus commercial radio station and television station. Previous HBCUs have owned their own radio station, but this is the first campus to have a commercial radio station that can be heard throughout the state. It is one of the two schools in the area to offer a degree in film production. In 2012, it expanded its educational offerings and became St. Augustine's University. One of the school's most notable alumni is Anna Julia Cooper, who became the first African American woman in the US to earn a doctoral degree. And this is your HBCU Spotlight for today.